Hi friends, I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to another Collage with Me video. Today we'll be using the 6x6 inch collage as an inspiration for a new one. I really enjoyed the process of making this original collage, but want to push it a bit further by adding more collage papers in different colors and sizes. Also, I want to have a collage that's slightly larger in vertical format, so we'll be working in this 7x9 inch art journal. So let's get started. First thing, let's go over the supplies. I pulled matte acrylic paint, and the colors I have are pink deep, orange deep, red light, and yellow orange light. You can use any colors you want. Just make sure you have dark and light colors. We want that contrast for each collage paper. Also, you can use regular acrylic paint if you want, or even watercolor. I like the look of matte acrylic paint. And also, since I'm working in an art journal, I like that the pages don't tend to stick together when I use matte acrylic paint. Regular acrylic paint tends to dry a bit tacky, so the pages can stick together. So just be mindful of that if you decide to use acrylic paint in your art journal. So let me put these aside for a moment, and we'll go over the other supplies. Water jar, glue stick, paint brushes, and I pulled flat paint brushes, and I'll go over that more once we start painting. And then I have 3 pieces of paper for the collage, and they're 7 inches by 9.5 inches, which is the same size as the art journal I'm working in. I'm using this size because I want to make sure I have enough collage pieces to choose from, and any leftovers I can put those in other collages. And instead of a scissor, we'll be using a ruler to tear these collage papers into sections. And the ruler, the size I have is 12 inches. I just want to make sure it's big enough so when I tear the paper, and then of course, paper towels. So let's start painting. Since we'll be using a ruler instead of scissors, I found that folding the collage papers first thing before painting is very helpful. The folds are guidelines for tearing the papers with the ruler and for painting. For this collage, we'll be painting letters and numbers on each paper, so the folds act as a guideline for painting within or outside the folds. We'll be folding each paper slightly different, so the finished collage pieces will be different sizes. So let's start with the first one. Here's our first piece of paper, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold the 9.5 inch side in thirds, and then the 7 inch side in thirds as well. So we're going to go up about 1/3 of an inch, or third way up. Fold it back. It doesn't have to be exact, because these are just our guidelines. And then the 7 inch side in thirds. And then crease it. And this is our first one. Our second piece of paper, we're going to fold the 7 inch side in half, and then half again, and then the 9.5 inch side in thirds. So it's in half. And I like to fold it back halfway down, or all the way down, and then fold it. Then we're going to take the 9.5 inch side and fold it up 1/3. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, because these are just our guidelines. Crease it. And this is our second piece of paper. This is our final piece of paper. And we're going to fold the 9.5 inch side in half, and half again, and then the 7 inch side in thirds. Okay. This is our 7-inch side, folding it in thirds. And again, as you can see, it doesn't have to be exact. And this is our third one. So here are all our pieces. So now we're ready to start painting. Now that we have the folds in each papers, we can start painting the uppercase letters. Once that layer is dry, then we'll come back in and paint the numbers. So this is probably a good time to explain my decision to pick the brushes that are flat instead of round or pointed. Well, I want the letters and the numbers to read more as shapes and not identify them as number and letters. And to do that, I think a thicker line will accomplish it. So we'll see how that will work out. So now we're going to be painting the capital letters within the folds. So we'll do that now. Now that all three papers are dry, we're going to come back in and paint the numbers on top. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint them offset from the letters, meaning I'm going to paint them in the folds, right on top of the folds, I should say, right in this area. So let's get started. Now that all three are painted, I'm going to let these dry and then we'll come back. I'll get my ruler and we will tear up the pieces so we can start collaging. Now that all the papers are dry, we will use the metal ruler to tear each paper into pieces. If you haven't used a ruler to cut paper before, I'll go over how I do it. Okay, using the folds, you're going to lay your ruler against it. And then you're going to take your left hand. Now, if you're left-handed, you can do the opposite of what I'm doing. But because I'm right-handed, I'm going to put my left hand on the ruler firmly, and then with my right hand, I'm going to hold the piece that I'm going to actually tear, and slowly tear against the ruler. Let me do it one more time. Fold it, hold it. So I'm going to do the rest of these, and then we'll start building the collage. Now that the paper is all torn into pieces, I've grouped them by size, we can start creating the collage. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk all the way through it. I'll come in when it's needed to narrate, but we'll just start creating and putting it together like a puzzle. I'm looking at this, and to me it reads dark, so that's why I'm thinking let's get a lighter sheet and we'll put it on top, and overlapping. And yes, coming off the edge is fine as well. What I'm seeing is these read as dark because it has the light pink, then the dark pink on top, and this is the opposite. So I'm putting this piece there to offset the two darker pieces. And for now, I'm just gonna not glue it down because I want to put some other paper, collage paper underneath that. So this is overlapping on top. Because there's a lot of white showing in this piece, it does read to my eye lighter than this piece. So I think it'd look good underneath. I might even put it that way. In that direction. I think this direction might look better. Yeah. And I'm going to slightly overlap it with the one that's already down. Still not gonna put that one down all the way. Let's see if we can put something else in there to overlap it. I do need a yellow-orange in this area to break up all this pink. So I think that will work. seeing what room I have left. And what I'm doing is just laying some pieces down to see what's going to fit in this area and what I have left to add. These 5 pieces are not glued down yet. I wanted to see the placement just to see if the remaining area, the pieces fit in nicely with a little bit of overlap, and they do. So now I'm going to come back in and glue it down and then take one more look. Glued down the 5 remaining pieces, and I'm happy with the way it looks. I think it looks balanced. I think there's enough movement with the overlapping of some of the pieces and with where the yellow-orange pieces are placed. I think that looks good. I like that there's some of the pieces are horizontal, some are vertical. All in all, I'm happy with the way it looks. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye now.